Hey there, it's John from Heroes and Legends. Welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. So Eternal Masters is out. It's been out for a day now, and packs are getting cracked, which means the secondary market for Eternal Masters has become very volatile. So one thing I will say right off the bat is if you're purchasing any singles this weekend, be very careful as the weekend progresses. There's going to be a lot of packs opened. There's going to be a lot of events going on in stores, draft events and such. So you're going to see a lot of changes this weekend in the value of Eternal Masters. So keep a close eye on it if you're in the market for buying some singles. Might be better off waiting a week or so and trying to pick some up next weekend once more packs have been opened. So just keep a close eye. We're going to look at some of the cards that are losing value from Eternal Masters today, as well as other impacts that the set is having on the market. And as always, we're going to start off with Standard. So what's going on in Standard? Well, first off, as far as cards that are losing value, not a whole lot of surprises here. These are the cards that are the high ticket cards that have been the high price cards for a number of months now. They've been slowly declining, and we are getting closer to finding out more about Eldritch Moon. So a lot of players are a little gun shy about investing in a more expensive standard card at this point, considering the metagame is about to shift. So that's what we're seeing here. Now, keep in mind, a year ago this week during the E3 Expo, we got spoilers for Magic Origins due to the fact that it was part of the promotion for Duels of the Planeswalkers at E3. I don't know if we're going to see spoilers for Eldritch Moon. We haven't heard anything from Wizards, and I know Wizards has a policy now being a little more open about spoilers, so there's a good chance we won't. However, I'll be keeping an eye on it, and we could be surprised by something, which means there could be some changes coming very soon to the standard market. So having said that, let's look at the cards that have lost value this week. Coming at number 5 is Chandra, Flamecaller, losing $1.22 to $19.99. Number 4 is Liliana, Heretical Healer, losing $1.26 to $29.13. Number 3 is Nahari, the Harbinger, losing $1.93 to $29.13. Now, Nahari is one you want to be careful about. She has been declining and will probably decline a little more. However, she has seen success in Standard as well as other formats such as Modern. So this is a card that at some point I think is going to start going back up again. Now, a week from Monday, Wizards has promised that there's going to be some information about Eldritch Moon released. Might not necessarily be a spoiler, but maybe it'll be the set symbol or something along those lines, which a lot of people are theorizing that it could showcase maybe a large creature that Nahari would be perfect to combo with. So if you're picking up a Nahari, I would probably try to get a copy or two of her this week because there's potential for this to go up in another week or so. Archangel Avacyn going down $2.60 to $28. And finally, number 1, the downward spiral continues. Jace Vern's Prodigy down another $4.55 to $45. Now, Jace has been dropping so fast for so long. It's just a fire sale. You can actually get Jaces a lot cheaper than $45. This is just kind of the average market value right now. But if you go to the big marketplaces like your TCG Player, eBay, Amazon, you can probably find a Jace for like $30, maybe even less. Everyone's just trying to get rid of them, so this is going to continue to drop in the coming weeks. All right, let's look at the top 5 standard cards that have gained value this week. And you're going to find here that these are driven by a couple new brews. One is a standard brew, and it's a blue prison deck. We're going to see some key cards from that in the countdown, as well as a modern deck, which is a Bant Eldrazi deck that's doing very well, which is affecting the standard market a little bit. So let's jump in with number 5, Part the Water Veil, going up 7 cents to $4.91. Not a huge increase, but this is in the blue prison deck. And this deck is not too expensive to put together, so it's a deck that people feel pretty comfortable investing in before we know what's happening with Eldritch Moon within the next couple weeks. Number 4 is Reality Smasher, going up 8 cents to $3.89, part of the Bant Eldrazi deck in Modern. Number 3, Engulf the Shore. We're back to the prison deck. This one went up 16 cents to $1.24. Number 2, Eldrazi Displacer, although still sees play in Standard, obviously. This is another card that's in the Bant Modern deck, going up 22 cents to $4.22. And finally, we're back to the prison deck with Days Undoing, going up 32 cents to $3.10. All right, well, let's move on to Modern. Now, Modern, out of all the formats, maybe the quietest right now. There's not a whole lot going on, but you will see, again, some small effect due to Eternal Masters. As far as cards that lost value this week, Tarmogoyf from Modern Masters 2015, coming at number 5, losing $1.46 to $140.99. Archangel of Thune losing $1.48 to $26.29. Number 3, Gifts Ungiven. This spiked recently, but it lost $1.49 to $20.51. This is the Kamigawa version. Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas, another card that recently spiked when Sword of the Meek was taken off the ban list. This went down to $1.64 to $3.20. This is dropping a little slower now. I expect Tezzeret to settle in between $25 and $28. And finally, coming in number 1 is Arcbound Ravager Darksteel version, going down at $1.86 to $50.46. Alright, so what is hot right now in Modern? And as promised, you're going to see a few cards that I think a lot of people were hoping were going to show up in Eternal Masters, but unfortunately did not. Coming in number 5, Verdant Catacombs. So fetch lands, they're not going up huge amounts. However, I think a lot of folks that were holding off making their purchases due to the fact that they thought maybe they'll show up in Eternal Masters have given up hope, obviously, and are starting to just buy into them. So this one went up $1.16 to $76.23. Number 4 is Brushland, going up $1.25 to $8. Now, this, of course, is a mana-based card. However, it's seeing play in that Modern Bant deck for Eldrazi. Number 3, Arid Mesa, going up $1.33 to $58.80. Number 2, yet another fetch land, Scalding Tarn, going up $1.79 to $87.65. And finally, Bridge from Below, coming in at number 1, and that's kind of interesting, but Dredge has been sort of gaining popularity recently, and there are Dredge versions not only in Modern but also Legacy and Vintage, and this sees play in all of them. Modern Masters version going up $1.41 to $6.98, with a Future Sight version going up $2.94 to $9.57. Alright, so what's happening in Legacy? So obviously you're going to see some impact, and you're actually going to see some Eternal Masters cards on this list as we look at cards that maybe had a little bit of a high price tag during the pre-release of Eternal Masters but are now coming down. And we'll also see kind of our regular fluctuations that we've been seeing over the last few weeks. So coming in at number 5 is Wrath of God Unlimited version, losing $5.61 to $21.56. Now, don't be fooled by this, even though it's gone down this week. This card has more than doubled in value over the last couple weeks, and it's just stabilizing here. So I think part of the reason is you have the Quentin Hoover art, which a lot of folks are big fans of. This card was recently released in Eternal Masters, which has garnered a little bit of spotlight, but of course it has the more updated art, and there are players out there playing the old school format that requires the older versions of the cards, so all that's going into play. This card's been pretty hot. Number 4, Sensei's Dividing Top from Eternal Masters, losing $5.91 to $21.99. Now, this is the first Eternal Masters card we're seeing on the list, and a lot of people forget, I think, that this was an uncommon during Kamigawa, so there's a fair amount of copies of this card out there, even though it is a very popular card, and a lot of players are trying to get a hold of it for a while. It also showed up again in foil version in a From the Vault, so put all that together, and I think this just had a little bit too high of a price tag during the pre-release season. Maybe a lot of sellers were overestimating how badly the market needed Sensei's Divining Top. So we see a pretty significant drop here. This is going to continue to drop. I could see this probably becoming a $10, $12 card. Number 3 is Unlimited Winter Orb, losing $7.35 to $49.98. Another card that kind of goes up and down every other week. Number 2, Tropical Island Unlimited, losing $7.69 to $299.95. And coming in at number 1 is Jace the Mind Sculptor from Eternal Masters, losing $9.70 to $65.94. Now, much like Sensei's Divining Top, I think this card was maybe a little overestimated by sellers during the pre-release season. The fact is, Jace is a very iconic card, and because of that, it kind of got a very iconic price tag to it, but you do have to compare that price tag and how iconic the card is to how many players are actually in the market for picking up more Jaces for whatever reason, Legacy, Vintage, Cube, what have you. So I think that number was a little lower than maybe was first anticipated. So I think this will continue to drop. I think you'll be able to pick up Jaces maybe in a few weeks for under $60. perhaps even closer to 50. So keep an eye on this one. I think Jace will continue to go down a little bit. All right, let's look at the top 5 legacy cards that have gained value this week. Coming in number 5, a card that was a big omission from Eternal Masters. This has been creeping up. It's just missed the top 5 the last couple weeks, but it made it this week. It's Rashad Import going up 524 to 110.13. Hopefully we'll see this someday in another version of Eternal Masters. Number 4 is Unlimited Force Field going up 586 to 182.52. Reserve list card. And now we're in dual land territory with Plateau Unlimited going up 686 to 173.11. Number 2, Scrubland, again Unlimited, going up 703 to 141.98. And finally, Unlimited Badlands going up 1541 to 150.39. So having said that, that is the market watch for this week. I anticipate over the next few weeks we're going to see some more movement with some of the Eternal Masters cards, as well as we get closer to Eldritch Moon, maybe a little bit more life will get breathed into that standard market and perhaps even the modern market. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Until then, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video, like all my videos, was made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Even a donation of $1 helps me to keep growing this community and creating better quality videos for all of you. Check out our Patreon page for exclusive giveaways and future goals for the channel. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the MTG news, spoilers, set reviews, product openings, or finance videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a good day.